Colleagues, today we are on the verge of the single largest redistribution of wealth from poor and working class Michiganders to the rich in our nation's history. That's what we're staring down in this so-called big, beautiful bill. And sure, if you're already wealthy, this bill is going to be great for you. If you earn more than $715,800, congratulations! You will get a tax cut of over $50,000. That tax cut alone is significantly higher than the $39,500 that the average Michigander earns in an entire year. Are you a foreign investor? Congratulations. Collectively, you will all get $23 billion in tax cuts next year alone. Are you in a position to leave more than $7 million to your heirs? Congratulations. You will get a cut to the estate tax. But how does this bill pay for all of this? By cutting the services that you rely on. This big bad bill cuts more than $200 billion from food assistance, potentially affecting 4 million children and 7 million adults nationwide. In Michigan, SNAP provides vital food assistance to over 1.4 million Michiganders. That's approximately 15% of our state's population. SNAP dollars fueled $2 billion in economic activity supporting farms and grocery stores, especially in our rural communities. But colleagues, proponents of this bill, and I have heard it here today, will argue that it's just about cutting so-called waste, fraud, and abuse, and that these cuts are necessary, and that enacting these cuts will benefit everybody. That argument is a flat-out lie. The University of Michigan economist Justin Wolfers analyzed the impact of all of the Trump policies combined. The cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP found in this big bad bill, the tax cuts here that overwhelmingly benefit the rich, and Trump's reckless tariff policy that adds cost to the food and the goods that so many of us rely on in our daily lives, with that additional cost not borne by the country of origin, not borne by the importer, not borne by the retailer, but passed on to you. Combined over the next 10 years, here's how those policies will impact you. If you are in the lowest 10% of earners making just under $19,000 a year, you will lose $2,600. If you're in the lowest 25% of earners making $40,000 a year, you will lose $1,600. If you're the median income earner, if you make $80,000 a year, you will lose $1,200. If you're in the top 75% of earners making $1,770, you will lose $600. If you're in the top 80% of earners, you will lose $500. Are you picking up on a trend here? But if you happen to be in the top 10% of earners earning over $250,000 a year, congratulations, you will gain an average of $7,200. 90% of Americans will lose money over the next 10 years to give the wealthiest 10% of Americans more money. That's insane. 50 years of trickle-down economics has shown us clearly that it simply does not work. The wealthiest Americans are wealthier than they ever have been before, while just about everyone else, from low income to middle class, is struggling to make ends meet. But do not fret, colleagues, because today we have an opportunity to stop this big bad disaster before it starts. I ask for your vote on this resolution today to send a message to our counterparts in Washington that we in the Michigan State Senate, those of us closer to the people on the ground, that we speak for Michiganders. Let's fight for all of our residents. Let's safeguard Medicaid. Let's safeguard Medicare. Let's safeguard funding for the Affordable Care Act. Let's safeguard cost savings for Michigan families on their energy costs. Support this resolution to say, from an independent state like Michigan, that Michigan legislators speak for Michiganders, not for the wealthiest 10% of us.